Okay, so Bitcoin smashed through 46,000, and that was the level that everyone was talking about. All the naysayers were talking about 46,000. Well, that level is now gone. 47,000 is now gone. 47,601 is what I have at the moment. And it doesn't look like Bitcoin's going to stop. And today, the question on everyone's mind is, there were a few questions. There was, should we be buying altcoins? What altcoins should we be buying? And then like the real assholes, the real assholes. You know what they said? They were like, well, when is the dip going to come so I can buy more? That's what they said. But the truth is that altcoins are really the place to be right now. If you believe in this run, if you believe that this run is real, and we do believe this run is real, we've believed it for a long time, then altcoins are the place to be. And I'm going to show you why I think altcoins are the place to be. Then I'm going to show you what altcoins you should be buying if you haven't bought altcoins yet, because it's not the same list anymore. Because if you haven't bought yet, the ones that we told you to buy previously, well, those are gone. So it's going to be a big show. We're degening a little bit. If you're not a degen, if you can't handle talking about altcoins, then this show is not for you. You come back on Friday, we'll do another big banter with Bitcoin maxis, and you can talk about Bitcoin. But if you are an altcoin degen, then this show is going to be basically heaven for you. It's going to be heaven. It's going to be heaven. So let's do it. Let's get the It's so nice today. Everyone's so friendly. Everyone's so happy. The happy people are back. The salty people are gone. It's so nice what happens when the market's green. Everyone becomes so nice. Hey, Sheldina, what do you think? Everyone's so nice today, right?
Dude, it's weird. It's weird. It doesn't feel normal. I feel love again.
So you see, today it's going to be a big show. I've got Sheldina here. I've got Fibonacci Li with us.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, and I've got with us, the Love Muscle with us. It's going to be a big show. We're going to be talking about a lot of things. We're going to be talking about altcoins, which is going to be fun. We're going to be degening like crazy people. So yeah, I think let's do this. Let's get the show on the road. But before that, if you are new to the channel, subscribe to our channel because we are growing super fast. We need you to come on this journey with us. And I'll show you today why it's so important to be a part of the family. And then if you have been here for a while, like this content. That's all we ask of you. We spend hours and hours and hours and hours making content for free. All this is free content. And we take abuse from you guys in the bear markets. So at least in the bull markets, give us a like because that is what gets us out there. When we get to, say, 3,000 likes today, we're going to start giveaways. And I've got a whole lot of giveaways for you. I've also got some news about new giveaways. So lots happening. Should we degen? I think we should start degening. I think we should start degening. And the reason why I think we should start degening is because you look at this chart and you see that as soon as Bitcoin broke that 46,000 level, everybody became bullish again. So everybody became bullish again. Even like the biggest skeptics yesterday have become less skeptics today. So I saw this tweet yesterday by El Capo. I mean, what a difference 24 hours makes. So this is one of Carl's friends. And, you know, Carl's been hanging around with him for a long time. And so Carl's been like the negative guy in the office. He's like, no, you know, we're not through this until this happens and until that happens. He said yesterday, we haven't seen real capitulation yet. And if there's no capitulation, there's no bottom. Okay, that's what he says. And then just 24 hours later, I mean, I love this. He says, good morning. Nice push of the bulls, showing strength these past few days. However, is the bearish scenario invalidated? Well, price broke 45, 46, but it hasn't consolidated above it yet. And the last push we had some bearish signs. Okay, price up, open interest down, volume down, funding up. So, Carl, what's the latest? The latest is he's saying that he needs to clear 52, 53 before he comes to the party.
I think he said like 53 or 54.
He wants to clear 53, 54.
He said he won't be buying until after that. Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's it. We're not friends anymore. So.
You know, I said this on Sheldon's show earlier, but, you know, I'm going to say it again, and apologies if I use the same analogy twice, but it's like Sheldon and I went to a party over here, and we arrived at the party at like 8:30, 9 p.m., and then we phoned all our friends. We phoned Fred, we phoned Miles, we phoned everybody to come to the party. Miles came to the party, Fred came to the party. Then Kyle said, no, I'm staying home. I'm staying with my friend El Capo and Mr. Well. We're staying at home. We're not coming to your party. Okay. Now we drank. It's 12 o'clock at night at the party. And Kyle decided, okay, I'm coming to the party. But he's arriving completely sober. And that's exactly the problem. There's a lot of people like Kyle who are arriving at the party completely sober now. And they want to be a part of this whole thing. But you can't come now when we've all bought and we're having the time of our lives. And now you come to the party. Now, Il Capo, what he's saying at 52.53, right? At 52.53, he says that's where he's going to come to the party. And I think that's going to be too late because I think that the sentiment is changing. And you can see that for the first time in a long time, the fear and greed index is now back at greed. So it's not neutral anymore. Yesterday, it was neutral. So you see that just yesterday, it was neutral. And now for the first time in a long time, in a long time, we're actually starting to see greed. So let's look at when the last time that we saw greed was. And let's say that greed is over 60. So the last time that we actually saw greed was actually on the 15th of November. And that was on the way down. The last time we saw greed on the way up was actually on the 6th of October. So it's quite interesting what's going on here. So let's look at where we were on the 16th of October. And let's look at what happened the last time that we saw. So 16th of October must have been somewhere over here. So you see that was when we got to greed. So it is changing. And you can see that it's changing because if you look at the YouTube viewers and you look at the number of subscribers and you look at that, they're all starting to come back. Today, Sheldon's show had one of the biggest days that we've ever had on Sheldon's show in a long time. Because what's happening now is that the sentiment is starting to change. Now, because we're smart, let's look beyond the sentiment and actually try and understand what is it that's actually happening and should we believe this pump? Because there is a reason why everybody was calling for this 46 level as a very, very, very critical level. And I'm going to show you what the fundamentals are behind that level, and then we'll decide whether it was the right level or whether it's not the right level and whether this is not really a real bounce. Because the one theory around this bounce is that this bounce is actually Bitcoin just leading the recovery cycle. And the reason why that's the theory is if you look at Bitcoin in the market. So Bitcoin hit a high on the 9th of November. You see that? So Bitcoin hit its high on the 9th of November. The tech stocks hit their high on the 23rd of November. So about 2 weeks later, the tech stocks decide to hit their high. Bitcoin on the 9th, tech stocks on the 22nd, 23rd of November. So what you're seeing here is some people will say, you know, what this is it's just crypto leading the way, Bitcoin leading the way for recovery. So Bitcoin collapsed first and Bitcoin's going to recover first. And now all these geopolitical moves and everything else is kind of alluding to the fact that the worst may be behind us and that we may be seeing a recovery. And it's just Bitcoin leading the recovery. That's the one theory, but I'm not buying that theory. In fact, I have a very different theory. And my theory is around what I call the non-natural buyer in the market. So we have now, today in the market, we have a non-natural buyer. So you have the Luna Foundation, which is buying up to $3 billion worth of Bitcoin. And what I call a non-natural buyer. It's not normal market forces. It's an outsider buying and actually manipulating the price. And you can see that they're buying so aggressively that not only are they buying, but they're buying very vocally. So generally, when people are buying, they don't go out to the market and say, hey guys, look, listen, we're going to buy $3 billion worth of Bitcoin. No, that's not what you do, because when you do that, you know that everybody's going to front run you. But it kind of feels to me like Do Kwon actually wants to be front run. And what we'll look at now is whether this is an absolute stroke of genius on his behalf, or an absolute stroke of genius which is going to start the next bull market, and he did it intentionally, or whether it was completely coincidental. But regardless of what it is, it may or may not be enough to actually catapult crypto into its next bull market. And that's what I want to show you guys, because the whole theory around this unnatural buyer starts here. So when you have an unnatural buyer, it's very rare for the unnatural buyer to go onto Twitter and to start announcing that they're going to be buying, because then you know you're going to get front run. If you're a big company and you want to do a big order, you don't go to the market and say, "Hey, market. I'm going to be buying. I'm buying $10 billion. We have $3 billion already." You don't do that. You do what Tesla did last year. Tesla only told us afterwards. They came to the market and they only told us afterwards. Is it my phone?
Where's it coming from?
I see someone.
Tommy?
Yeah, sorry, it was my phone. So they came to the market. And they said it to the market. They came to the market and they said, "Hey, we bought $1.5 billion in Bitcoin, and we plan to accept Bitcoin as a form of payment." Now, that was on the 8th of February. And look what happened to Bitcoin on the 8th of February. So you go here, and that was about here. So obviously the insiders must have known it somewhere around there. And Tesla announces it here. And then Bitcoin rallies because of the big news. But they didn't announce it before the news and say, "Hey, look, we're about to go into the market to buy $1.5 billion worth of crypto." So what I think's happened here is we've got Do Kwon coming in, and he came in coincidentally, very, 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 very coincidentally, at exactly the right time. So much so that when you combine this artificial buying or this unnatural buying with the perfect timing that Do Kwon got, and the reason why I say perfect timing, well, he bought in after the NASDAQ had hit the bottom, after crypto had arguably hit the bottom. He bought in after Russia invaded Ukraine, and all those geopolitical tensions were completely out of the way. That's when he decided to buy. Not while or before Russia was invading Ukraine. He did it straight after it. So when all the bad news was in the market, that is when Do Kwon starts to make his announcement. He did it after Jerome Powell had to deal with inflation, after Jerome Powell gave clarity on the rate hikes for the year. So he almost got like this uncanny, perfect timing. That is when he announced this. And I don't know if it was a stroke of genius on his side or if it was completely planned. I know that he knew about this Bitcoin backing last year when I spoke to him in November. He said to me, "We're raising a whole lot of Bitcoin money now to do Bitcoin, etc., etc." But then the thing is that he became vocal about it. And by becoming vocal about it, he started to get this FOMO going into the market. So starts getting this FOMO into the market. And what you can see is that we've now had these 5 green days in a row. See, so there's 5 green days in a row that happened here. And the last time that we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green days in a row, let me switch that off. How rude. The last time that we had these 5 green days in a row, that sparked a huge bull market. And it seems that what he's done is he's timed his purchases in such a way that he's managed to orchestrate these 5 green days in a row, now leading to the 6th green day. What that did was it created a whole lot of short liquidations at the same time. And what we're seeing now is short liquidation. So you're looking at this and you're going, what he did yesterday actually spiked a whole lot of short liquidations, which is, so you do the 5 green days in a row, that sparks a whole lot of short liquidations. So bang, 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 short liquidations. Short liquidations make the price go up even further. At the same time, you get the pivotal point from Janet Yellen.
Final questions for you.
Which was this?
One, I couldn't get through an interview without asking about crypto, but in particular, Russia just said that they would accept Bitcoin as a payment for their...
So we watched this earlier, but this was a pivotal point, according to Michael Saylor. He said it's the first time that the US has come out and said, look, we've got to be friendly to it. And it was a change in tune by Janet Yellen. And it happens just after Joe Biden gives us this executive order and says that the US must lead blockchain development and that everyone must regulate it. And that got the US lawmakers to all of a sudden start being very pro-Bitcoin. So you have people who were against Bitcoin quite vocally, like Janet Yellen, and now she's like singing a completely different tune. And at the same time, that is when Do Kwon starts buying. He orchestrates 5 green days in a row. That starts a cascade of short liquidations. So you now have a cascade of shorts. You get, sorry, let me just get my mic fixed there. You get a cascade of short liquidations. That creates more buying, more momentum, more buying, more momentum. That takes us past the key level. Once we get past the key level, we've got a higher high in play. Once you've got a higher high in play, all the technical traders turn bullish, and you've almost got this perfect storm. And then if you want to sprinkle some more spice on this perfect storm, you say to yourself, hold on, even worse than that is that, or even better than that, let's not even say worse, is that the hodlers, or the type of people that are holding Bitcoin, are completely different now. So the tourists are gone, and the people that are holding 12.5 million Bitcoin, almost 12.5 million Bitcoin, are actually hodlers, people that have been holding Bitcoin for over a year. So we've got a new profile of holder of Bitcoin. Remember, it's 12.5 million, and we're now at the 19th million Bitcoin, and we think that 5 million Bitcoin are gone. So what you see now is you've got a new profile of hodler for Bitcoin at the same time holding the Bitcoin. And that's going to create this supply shock. And so what you're seeing now is you're seeing Bitcoin acting completely irrationally against markets. So you've got the dollar, the Dixie, which is the dollar index, getting stronger. Now, usually when the Dixie gets stronger, share prices fall, commodity prices fall. But what you're seeing now is Bitcoin is actually tracking the dollar index. So as the dollar index goes up, so is Bitcoin going up. And the same thing is happening with Ethereum. So you've got the tourists are gone, people are buying ETH, they're staking ETH, and this whole thing is actually being led by spot. So it's not a future spot market thing, it's actually a spot market rally, a spot market-led rally. So what does this mean? What does this actually mean? What it means is that Do Kwon may have actually, without knowing it, timed his buy so perfectly and executed on his buy so perfectly that he pushed us over the key technical levels. And if he pushes over the key technical levels, it means that even the most conservative and even the most skeptical of traders in the whole world have now gone positive. Except for Carl and Neil Capo and Mr. Whale, that even the most skeptical people in the world, they've now turned positive. Lee told me today in the waiting room, he said he's never been this excited before.
That's right, exactly.
Tell me why you've never been this excited before.
Because I can see on Bitcoin chart, there's something that, once you break this level that we're talking now at 36K, and happened already 5 times or 4 times in the past, something magic happened within Bitcoin price, and none of the sales or nothing's gonna stop that, and we are ready to go. I mean,
okay, tell me why.
Okay, I like the comparison you said. The tourist are gone because we are really boring in this range, right? Now everyone knows 46K was a key level to break. Focus on this pattern, Ryan. What I've drawn here: 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have a retrace, we have a top, we have a second retrace, and we have a top. We have a higher high. What you can see every time is that spike in the middle is higher than the starting of my line here, right? And you have a higher lows compared to this one, and you have a higher highs. Every time that this kind of pattern happens, you can expect a huge push towards the upside. And so I'm going to prove you.
You understand what's happening here. Even the most skeptical of people in the whole world, Fibonacci Li, he's now bullish.
Right. I'm glad you're on the bullish team, brother. I'm glad
I missed you guys. Last time I was on Banter, I called the top at 64. I called the top at 68 on my Twitter account. And we've been buying silently in our YouTube channel at 52, at 50, at 33, 35. And now I'm here on Banter to tell you guys that we bought, and it's gonna be our vocal buy now that we're gonna go turn full bullish mode. Let me show you in the past.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
So let me show you in the past what happened. This is the BLX Bitcoin chart from 2010. Okay. Now, if you focus on this price action, and like I said, there's this double bottom with higher highs in the middle and higher lows, and with the last higher highs. And that is a weekly chart. So it's take a long time to form those kind of patterns. But every time this pattern formed, you see this bearish structure here at $6.63. In the middle, we had $7, and we went to 15. Once that happened, this magical move from this bearish structure from the top to the low here, and we can only see if you put a Fibonacci extension level. Every time the best position to sell is between 4 and 4618. Can you see that? So that's one. That's the first time it happened. Okay, in 2012, it formed between 2011 to 2012. Now fast forward, when was the next time it happened here? It happened here in 2015. We had the high, we had the low, 473. In the middle, we have 500, which is above 473. And lastly, with that retrace, higher lows, 783. So once we break this 501 here, the market just rallies. Rallies where? To 4618. Okay, and that was 14,000. Okay. So now we can assume that this 4 and 4618, it is what I call it the DNA of Bitcoin. That is the Bitcoin rhythm.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Now, third section here. Let's zoom in. I've got my third section prepared. Let's zoom in here. Third section. It was in 2019. We had 1 week, 2 week of bearishness here at 4,132. We came back, make a higher high, 4,272, higher than this one. We trace higher lows, you can see, higher high 5,000, and we break this 4,272. And where did we go? From that extension, 4 to 618. And that was a perfect place to take profit.
Okay, what happens if we go to the 4 to 618 now? Where does that take us?
Exactly. So now, fast forward, there's another move here in the middle, which prints exactly the same.
Okay.
And if we go fast forward to what's happening now, higher highs, higher lows. So this is the smaller pattern that we can see here. That was your 46 that we needed to break, 4579. We did go above this area, 46. Okay, and my 4 and 4618 area is at 130,000. So between 106,000 and 130,000. Okay, that is only. Hold on. That is only the moon. It's not the final target, because guess what? When I draw this, it comes here. So now, if you look at this bearish pattern from 64 to 28, made a higher high in the middle, 68, come back, 32, which we called our subscribers, our crypto EMC subscribers, to buy at 33, 32. We tell them again to buy at 35. Those was like silent buy. We didn't advertise it. Now we are here in Banter. We said, you know what? This is a confirmation. And if that pattern formed after we break this previous high, 68,000 all-time high, this bigger W is going to form. And if we take that move from 64 to 28, your 4 and 4618 is just below 200,000 BTC.
Okay, but now let me ask you something. Don't you think that there's a small chance that all of this can be faked? I say faked because you've got an unnatural buyer in the market. You've got Do Kwon who's buying. It's not real buying. Real stock markets and all the other stuff isn't responding as well as crypto. So it's almost like we have like a market maker who's just buying and buying and buying.
Until retail comes.
Those are all excuses. Those are all excuses.
That's exactly
the chart doesn't lie. Those are all excuses. Exactly. Maybe he bought tons at 28. You didn't know because he didn't say it, right?
No, he told.
On my smaller scale, I bought at 32. I never said it.
He is very transparent about his purchases because he has to be, because it's actually a public foundation that's buying it. And I think exactly what Sheldon says. He managed to get to the point just enough for where retail's coming in, and you can see that retail's starting to come in. You can feel the fear and greed index is starting to change. You can see the number of viewers is starting to go up on YouTube shows, etc. He managed to get us to a point where retail is interested again, and he can kind of let go. And I think that's what I think. I think he was genius in his execution. I don't know if it was planned or not planned, but either way, the man was absolutely genius in his execution.
Yeah.
Is he done buying?
No, there's still 1.5 billion to go.
Well, he probably he will probably buy the next retrace. I want to warn you guys. I mean, the chart doesn't lie. This weekly W forming, it's really a strong pattern. You've seen now over the past 10, 12 years how many times it happens. It happens
Yes.
like only 5 times. Now it's the 5th time that is actually happening within this
weekly.
history of BTC. So this is a really strong pattern on BTC that all the traders are looking. That's why the 46,000 break was so important on the weekly chart. And when it breaks, then you have traders who's got also a lot of money behind to catch the next retrace. Now it's really the time to buy the dip.
Lee told me earlier today, said this is the most excited he's ever been. The most excited he's ever been.
Nice to have you on the yeah, bro.
All right, brother, man.
Thank
Much
you,
love. Much love. Nice to see you bullish, my brother.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I think what happened was I think that's exactly what Sheldon said. I think that Do-Kwon, genius, what he managed to do was to basically single-handedly get the new bull market, give us enough momentum to close a short, to create more of a short squeeze, and to actually get the bull market into effect. And as the bull market starts to come into effect, the question is, where should you be? Should you be in Bitcoin or should you be in altcoins? The question is whether you trust this pump or not. If you trust this pump, then you shouldn't be in Bitcoin. You should be in altcoins, because what we know happens is that the altcoins recover much quicker than Bitcoin recovers. They fall much harder than Bitcoin falls, but they recover much quicker than Bitcoin recovers. And so if you have conviction in this pump, and for the record, I do, that doesn't mean to say that you do, everyone must have their own opinion. I have conviction in this pump. I've had conviction in this pump since, let me show you I want to show you where we were at, and I want to show you what my thinking is. So I said to you guys, when Bitcoin broke this year, on the 6th of February, I said to you guys, for me, this is the beginning of a new cycle. And you can go look at the shows that we made in around that time. I said that as soon as Bitcoin passed this and went up to that 43, 44, we were in a new cycle. It was a new cycle. I said that this was very much around inflation and Russia invading Ukraine. And I think that this is now a change in cycle. Then we had the escalation of the war in Ukraine. And I said, look, I'm holding my ground firmly. And I'm saying that this is a retest, and it was a perfect retest. And then I said, I'm holding on to this thesis. As hard as it felt, I said, I'm holding on to this thesis. And what we said at the time was, we said, we weren't comfortable to give you guys a portfolio until the 16th of Feb. And we gave you guys a portfolio on the 16th of Feb, which was about there. So that is the 16th of Feb, where the market was at around 41,000. We said, okay, look, we didn't want you guys getting in here because we didn't know if there was a change in cycle or a change in sentiment. We wanted you guys in when we were comfortable enough that we could get you into a portfolio. And we gave you a portfolio on the 16th of Feb. And if you look at that portfolio today, so we'll look at that portfolio today, that portfolio is up in a month and a half, is up 40.39%. Okay, the numbers don't lie here. These are the tokens that we called. We added 1 or 2 tokens along the way. We added JPEG along the way. We're adding 1 or 2 tokens today, and I'm going to talk to you about which those tokens are. But ultimately, that is when we felt comfortable getting you guys in. Now, for those of you who believe the thesis, and for those of you that had the guts to buy when everybody else, when Kyle and everybody else was sitting at home watching Netflix with El Capo and Mr. Whale, if you had the conviction to buy when others were feeling fearful, then today you're up at least 40%. You're up 41%. And today, what you're getting is everybody else coming into the market going, okay, what should I be buying? What should I be buying? And as Suzu said, he said, some boomers asking me if they'll get a dip to buy. Son, you've had a dip for 3 months, and now you want a dip. And so you can see that those that had conviction to buy are now starting to reap the rewards of the benefits of their conviction. This portfolio that I had, which was at 37,000 when I started trading it, and went down to 21,000, I just kept buying and I held it. Now it's at 47,000 and almost back to 50,000 when we first started. So now everybody's coming in. The tourists are coming back in, and the tourists are asking, all right, what should we be buying? What should we be buying? What should we be buying? This is when they're coming in. They're coming in here when you've made the high, and they've pretty much missed the first 40% of the returns on the portfolio. And if you've missed the first 40% of the returns on the portfolio, your strategy has to be completely different. Because the portfolio that we made, if you look at the portfolio that we made, which we call the Degen-ish portfolio, you'll see that some of the tokens in this portfolio have already exploded. So things like Luna's up 95%, Thorchain is up 186%, Astroport is up 219%, JPEG is up 222%. So it doesn't make sense to now go and degen into this portfolio when everybody else got into this portfolio 40% earlier. You got to kick yourself and you got to say, look, if I'm buying now, then actually what I am is I'm a retail investor. I'm a retail investor. You know, when they refer to retail, if you're coming in and you're starting to buy now, you're a retail investor. If you bought earlier, you're not a retail investor. You're a degen. You had conviction when everybody else didn't have conviction. You were here when nobody else was here. You were here and you were doing all the hard work. And now what's happened is you're riding this momentum. So if you're going to come in now, you've got to have a completely different strategy. And that's what we wanted to talk about today. Today is about what happens if you weren't yet in the market and you want to get into the market. Then what should you be buying now? How does your strategy change? How does your thesis change? That is what we're going to be talking about today. So I got my brother Shaldino who's going to be doing the charts. I'm going to be giving you the thinking, and we're going to show you guys how we think that you should be playing this kind of market. And the first thing is to say that when you invest, doesn't matter when you invest, you should be investing in a portfolio. So don't look at this portfolio and say, you know what, there's some tokens that haven't moved. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and buy just Wilder World and just Joe and just Fuse and just Fantom. That's a bad strategy. That's a bad strategy because you don't have a portfolio. And the whole idea behind this whole thing is that you build yourself a portfolio. You've got to build yourself a portfolio. You've got to have 50% of your portfolio in really strong coins, 35% of your portfolio in gems that can do high multiples, and 15% of your portfolio in real speculative, trading, risky stuff. Okay, so you can't look at this in isolation and say, okay, I'm only going to buy the ones that haven't gone up, because then you're not going to be left with a portfolio. You're going to be left with high risk. You've got to be buying a full, completely diversified portfolio, which includes, like this portfolio includes, layer ones, layer twos, metaverse, trading, exchanges. It's a full portfolio with high risk and low risk tokens. So you must be buying high risk and low risk tokens, and you must be DCAing into them. But there are a few tokens that I would be buying, and I want to show you why I would be buying them here. And I'm not telling you to buy them. I'm saying to you, if you have a portfolio, perhaps you also want to add these to your portfolio. And I'm going to show you ones that I'm not buying. I'm going to show you why I'm not buying some of them. So let's look at the first one. And this one is actually one that I'm not buying. And I'll show you why I'm not buying it. So the first one that I'm looking at is a token which I really love. Okay, so I love this token. This is the Stargate Finance token. I love what Stargate Finance do. In just a couple of days, it's become one of the biggest bridges out there in terms of TVL, so to speak. And I really like the tokens. But I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm sitting on the sideline. And I'm waiting. And the reason why I'm waiting is because right now, this token is on a massive hype wave. FTX created a whole lot of hype. Every single influencer is talking about it. Every single fund has bought it. So if you're buying now, then you're retail. As much as I want that to be part of my portfolio, and I guarantee you that within a year, it will be a massive part of my portfolio, I'm not buying it now. I'm going to wait for the opportunity to buy it when there is a real opportunity. And I suspect that I'm probably going to get an opportunity to buy it at under $2. I don't know when. I don't know if it's going to be in a month or 2 months or 3 months, but I think I'm going to get an opportunity to buy it at under $2. So I'm not buying that one. I'm not buying it at all. Shaldino, what do you think? I mean, you can't really tell from the charts because the charts are 3 days old.
Yeah, it's still in offloading season. So this is where the initial early investors are offloading at this point. So it's in a clear downtrend now. And as you were saying, you want to see this end down. You want to see it go sideways, the same way Bitcoin did for a few weeks. And then you're getting in strong. So there's not a lot of charts here, but you can clearly see they're still offloading. The whales are still getting off. So you're fresh meat if you come in and you buy right now. You actually just patience. We'll catch it.
Yeah, so exactly. So what I want to show you guys is that what you want to be doing is you don't want to be buying stuff that there is hype, because it's not that easy anymore. If you were here, if you were at this point in the market, then I'd say to you, look, it's kind of safe to buy anything because the rising tide is going to lift all ships. But now when the market's back up here, you've got to be a little bit more selective about what you buy. One of the things that I possibly would be looking to buy now, because I still think there's a lot of upside, is there are a whole lot of tokens that haven't run yet. Which are the tokens that haven't run yet? Well, ones that got FUD. And so to me, when I look at things like Fantom, for example, for me, Fantom has still been hit too hard since the Andrei Kornier thing. And so even though it's probably a higher risk buy now, I think at some point, and I don't know whether that some point is going to be in a month, or 2 months or 3 months or 4 months. I don't know when it's going to happen. But I do think that at some point the market is going to revalue Fantom pretty well. So Fantom is one that I'm buying. And let's look at what the charts are saying, Tentino.
Yeah, brother. So Fantom still, it obviously got hit hard. It got hit really hard and it lost its momentum that it was holding for quite a while. It is at a big point of sort of rejection. But what I am thinking is for it coming for a higher low on the next one. So right now, where you caught it the last time, because it had such a big drop, is where the sort of sweet zone where you want to keep loading up between the dollar and the 120 zone. That looks like the really good zone. I do have a 90-cent zone, but let's wait for that. But be patient now. This came off something hard. It will come back and then load up.
Yeah. Cool. So the next one that I'm looking at, and again, this is a very, 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 very high risk play. And if you hold a full portfolio like this, for example, then you can afford to add in some high risk plays in here. And the high risk play that I'm adding in here is I'm adding solidly here. And the reason why I'm adding solidly in here, and I'm buying it with a very, very, very small part of my portfolio, is because I had lunch with Andre Krinier after he rage quit crypto. And I asked him, I said, oh, you're not going to miss, I'm going to keep the majority of the details of the lunch completely confidential because it was a lunch between two mates. But I think that this, he wouldn't mind me sharing because I think he's actually quite proud of it. But I said to him, are you not going to miss the protocols that you worked on? He said, for sure, I'm going to miss them. I said, well, which one are you going to miss the most? And he said, probably I'm going to miss Solidly the most because Solidly is the best piece of code I've ever written. And so the thesis that I have around Solidly is it's very, very, very high risk, very, very, very high risk. But the way I see it, it's almost like the best yacht maker in the world builds the best yacht that they've ever built and parks the yacht outside and abandons it. Are we saying that there's not going to be another captain that's going to jump in and actually start driving the yacht? Probabilities are that there will be another captain jumping in and driving the yacht. And if it is indeed the best yacht that this yacht maker's ever built, then maybe this is a good time to be getting in. So how do you get into something like this? Well, you go in with a very, very, very small part of your portfolio, stupidly small part of your portfolio, and you buy it and you hold it. And either it goes to zero because for some reason this yacht just sinks, or it flies. And if it flies, then you may get yourself a 20x. So with those kind of bets, you take a very, 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 very small part of your portfolio and you buy it. And you buy a very small, a little bit. Sheldina, what do you think?
We don't have much on the charts. I'm trying to find normal charts on it, but you can see very clearly it's in sideways phase at the bottom there. So you're out of the strong downward cycle. So this is accumulation phase. Dollar costing, I think, is great. Brilliant.
Okay, so the next one that I would be looking at, and I think the market is hitting it too hard, is Trader Joe. So it is on our portfolio. It is one of the only ones in our portfolio that is down, and we're going to talk about another one that's down, and possibly I'd be looking at. But Trader Joe to me looks like it's just taken too much of a beating. And if you look at the fundamentals, the Avalanche ecosystem is huge recovery. They've changed their tokenomics. Miles is insanely bullish about their tokenomics. And let's see what Sheldina says about the chart. Looks like there's a little breakout on the chart.
Yeah, this one's looking better. Yeah, this is looking a lot better. So it was accumulating sideways. This is where we're breaking, and this is where you're starting to see volume starting to enter. So this for me looks good because you came out of the sharp downwards, you're sideways now, and now we're breaking this wedge to the downside over here. So for me, I won't be touching it anywhere above 1.2, but anywhere in this range of $1 to 110 is a good dollar costing zone. Definitely.
So similarly, like I say, I think what we need to be looking at now is we need to be looking at this chart over here. And this chart over here is the dominance chart. Mm-hmm. And if our thesis plays out correctly, then what you're going to get is you're going to get this dominance chart hovering around here, maybe touching back on that line and then coming all the way down again as people get confidence in the market. And when that confidence comes in, you want to be in altcoins. That's where you're going to get the biggest returns. Is you're going to get the biggest returns in altcoins once this line is touched and the dominance starts to drop, if indeed the dominance starts to drop, which is our thesis here.
Well, the fact that it didn't pump with Bitcoin breaking 46 surprised me a lot. It surprised me a lot actually that it didn't go parabolic.
So there are one or two others that I want to look at. The one that I want to look at now is Arweave. So Arweave for me is, in terms of the majors, it is the most undervalued major on the market. And even if you buy it now and you pay your $38 now, whatever it is, you haven't bought it at the bottom. But if you hold it for a long period of time, I think it's at about a 2.5 billion fully diluted market cap. So for me,
that's beautiful for me, brother. This is one, I showed the ones this morning of daily breaks of trends. Arweave's breaking daily trend right now. This
Yeah,
is the
so
times
Arweave-
you want to be getting in confirmation buys. Dollar costing at this. Don't chase the pump. If you see it at $60 in the next 2 weeks, be patient and catch it on these early day breakouts.
Let's look at another one. Let's look at Superfarm.
Another beautiful chart, brother. We're catching them, dude. We're actually very lucky to be getting these daily breakouts. Like, this is a really good time. You keep saying that retail is starting to come in. They're not even here yet. I think only 5% of retail are here. Like, they're still coming, and this is the pure example of that. They come when this stuff's all the way up here. So this is good, guys. This is the chart you want to see, and this is where you want to be buying confirmation buys.
Agreed. All right, let's do one or two more, and these are real. The next two of them are really Degen tokens, real Degen tokens, high risk, small parts of your portfolio. Orion Dot Money, which is the protocol that brings high yield. Orion, ORION. There we go, Orion Money.
Let's have a look. Oh, this one was on quite a down. So it's looking good. Is this a small cap?
Yeah,
what is the market cap on this? Small cap.
Small.
Yeah. So the fact that Bitcoin and the dominance is in a positive position, I'd be dollar costing, but there's not too much giving here at this sort of point. But if it's a small cap, there's nothing wrong with having some riskier tokens. The fundamentals are good.
One more that I want to look at, and they are a sponsor of our website, so I am disclosing that to you guys up front, but this coverage of their token has got nothing to do with a sponsorship on the website, and that is Rubic. Well, Rubic is a cross-chain, multi-chain DEX. So what it allows you to effectively do is it allows you to move tokens across 15 different chains. So you can do swaps. So you can see there's Ethereum to Ethereum, where I can change Ethereum and I can swap from Ethereum to Binance, and I can select what the tokens are that I want to swap, multi-chain and cross-chain. And I think they go across 15 different chains. I've been using it. It's an unbelievable product to use. They have it a token recovery. What does the chart say, Shal?
Wow, what happened to this? It pumped a few days ago. So that was obviously the big breakout you wanted to catch, and you would sort of want to retest in the region of the early 20s. But it's showing a lot of strength. This is definitely looking good. I wouldn't buy it right now. I'd be a bit more patient. I'm going to add it to my list and watch the show. I will have it, but not just yet.
100%. Alrighty, so that's what I would be doing. Shaldino, thank you, brother.
Pleasure, brother. Time to be back. We need the tequila mornings flowing, bull cycle. Let's enjoy it, brother. Appreciate it.
Much love, bro. So that's it. You see, so what we think is going to happen is that we think that if this cycle continues, the best place to be is definitely to be in the altcoins. And if you're going to be in the altcoins, you've got to be smart about the altcoins that you're buying. It's not about buying any altcoin, because if you start buying all the big altcoins and all the ones that have moved, then you probably missed half the run. So you've got to be very selective about what you buy, and more importantly, more selective about the stuff that you don't buy. Like, I'm not buying Stargate right now. I'm going to wait. Same thing with ApeCoin. My short is now closed because I got closed out at the same price that I paid, so I made no money on that trade. But the time for me to be getting into that, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for this hype cycle to die, and I'm going to sit on my hands. And the hardest thing for you to do right now, the hardest thing for you to do right now is to sit back and just watch your money grow. I was tempted today to put more money into the market, and I just thought to myself, I'm chasing the pump. I wanted to put more money into Moon River, and I just thought, you're chasing the pump. Don't chase the pump. Don't chase the pump. Because if you do, then you're retail. And if you're retail, you're going to get wrecked. And the idea here is that we make you into people that aren't retail. Right? Right. Everyone wants my shirt. You like it? I think it's a great shirt.
Ran, everyone's going crazy here in the chat for Gala. Is Hustle here? Hustle, what's happening with Gala, brother? Because the chart is waking up and something's happening.
Yeah, I mean, well, they just have so much going on, and the bull market is kind of, we're getting a little more bullish indicators in the market. And I mean, I just being at GDC this last week, a great time to talk about it. I actually spoke with the Gala guys over there. They have so much going on over at Gala. I mean, they have like 8 titles already announced. They're wanting to basically be the best studio, the Steam of gaming. They also have just so much pillars of their ecosystem from their nodes. They're building their own blockchain right now. So there's just so much going on with Gala. I don't know if there's just shilling in the chat or what. I haven't seen like big news this week, but I did just talk to
It's just breaking out, brother. We bought it 20 cents last week, so everyone's just raging it on. It's doing well.
Yeah, I mean, I love Gala, and it's good to see that it's performing well.
Alrighty, Hassel, what's on the gaming show later, bro?
So I was also obviously out at GDC San Francisco, so I'll talk briefly about that. We actually have some videos coming out later this week of some footage, some interviews with some projects out there. So that'll be out later this week. Today, we're going to talk about the Avalanche Summit, the things that obviously I didn't get to cover from the conference, the developments from the gaming ecosystem, and how to master the Avalanche gaming ecosystem with the subnets around the corner, which are going to utilize gas tokens of these native games. So instead of using Avalanche as gas, like DeFi Kingdoms, for example, Jewel is up 2x this week because they're about to start burning Jewel for gas. So I'm going to talk about how to get ready for all of the things around the corner with the Avalanche subnets.
Wow. Alrighty, but it was so good to have you on the show yesterday.
Yeah, it was really good to be back, and I'm looking forward 2.5 hours from now.
You're a fucking legend. See you later, boy.
See you, Rand.
Alrighty, let's also talk about some giveaways. So first of all, get to the website. We're going to give away some giveaways on the website. There are a few things for you to look at the website. I love this article about the bulls and back in town, but can we trust this pump? Read it. Let us know your comments. We're going to be giving away those $600 Fantom starter NFTs. In fact, let's go and give one away right now. Let's quickly find the comment. Let's see, how do we get to the comment? I'm not logged in. Let me quickly log in. And then I want to talk to you about a different giveaway that we got today. So let's quickly go here and just check. Let's look at this. I don't know how my own website works. Okay, so Matthew Buck, you win a $600 NFT. And Ganja Fari, you also win a $600 NFT. Ganja Fari, I like his name. Good guy. Okay, both of you win a $600 NFT, Fantom Starter NFT, and that's for the Launchpad, which is amazing. It's a multi-chain, cross-chain Launchpad. Yeah, and so you win that. We are also a whole lot of other giveaways. One, we have selected a winner in the Nord VPN. When we can't disclose who the winner is because the only thing we've got for the winner is an email address, but you will get $1,000 credited to your account. That's for someone who took a Nord VPN. If you don't have a VPN in crypto today, you're crazy. Go and get one. There's a referral link below, and it costs you $3.16 a month. And for the month of April, we're focusing on keeping our crypto safe. So if you take a VPN for the month of April, for the whole month of April, we'll be giving away $1,000 a week to someone who signs up, and you'll be protecting your crypto. Even bigger news. Okay, so watch this. This is even bigger news. Where did I put it? Hold on, I've got to show you this. So there we go. Okay, so if you go to ByBit, the first thing is ByBit has agreed to match KuCoin and give a Bitcoin to one lucky winner. So I put some pressure on them and I said, look, what I want you to do is I want you to give a Bitcoin to one lucky user. And that's exactly what they did. They gave a Bitcoin to one. They're going to give a Bitcoin to one lucky user. All you need to do is you need to open a ByBit account, deposit, even if you deposit $10, $20, $50, just deposit, because ByBit need to see that you're not faking your account. You're not just getting an email address. You can win yourself a Bitcoin. And if you look at the ByBit exchange, a lot of people think it's only Bitcoin, but if you look at the coins that they've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, EOS, XRP, BitDAO, Solana, Sandbox. They've got a whole lot of altcoins now, which you can now trade. And so what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be selecting pairs. So we're going to say, okay, if you traded the Solana pairs, you can win $1,000 worth of Solana. If you traded the Graph pair, you can win $1,000 worth of Graph. So make sure that you open the account. From tomorrow, we'll start doing those giveaways, and we'll finish the old $50,000 BitDAO giveaways. We'll start that again tomorrow. So if you don't have an account, go and open an account today. You can get $4,100 in extra value if you open an account and deposit money. So do that today. Tomorrow we'll start with those giveaways. What else? Let's take a look at the Bitcoin price before we go. 47,538. What a time to be alive. What a time to be at the party. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, have fun, trade well, my friends.